Hey guys, today's Wednesday, May the 17th of 2023, and I wanted to go over natural gas. There's some things that I just wanted to get out of my chest and just kind of share with you, because this is the things that you will eventually come across in regards to trading. And these are the things that you have to understand and making the best, educated decision that you can, even when things are, conflicting, going against each other. But before I get there, I'll start off with, some of the techniques I use with Gann's technique. I wanted just to show you, let's see, look at the 20 and the 50. And I know this is kind of short time frame here, in regards to years, but look at the 20 and the 50 when they kind of oscillate together. And then when I say the 20 and the 50, the SMA, we're kind of here again now. It's not dropping anymore. It's just kind of going sideways. And the 20 and the 50 have just kind of, caught with price, and they're just kind of going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Kind of what it looks like here. So that's my first observation within this range of this high of 1002. And I think this is a 144 low. We're somewhere around here, 194. Next thing I wanted to show you is a Gann fan from this low. We're kind of still below here. Also, this is from the high. This is the 45. The 45 is the most important. So if you have a long time frame and you're like, listen, dude, I'm here for the long haul. I'm gonna ride this until we get, somewhere halfway between this or retest the high. Well, if that's your game plan, just keep an eye on this line right here, because this is the 45-degree angle. There's going to be resistance. So if you have a target up there, that's good. Scoring the range, I take this low to this high. We're just hovering around here. As you can see right now, this is resistance, 249. So keep that in mind. Once we could break above 249, then, it's going to be, trending or, sideways to higher. But so far, using that technique, that's a level to keep an eye on. And then I went and thought, maybe this is the low of the February 21, 22 low here, 199, and put a Gann fan. You can see this is the 45. Prices crashed below it, and I have it there, but it's not really that important. The important one is the low that it made on the close, because this is closing prices. This is not getting the spikes and all that you get in, with the regular, high, close, open, low stuff. So right here, we got this close, and you can see that now prices have been oscillating in within here and kind of look like it wants to just start, making higher highs and higher lows. So that's a good sign if you're long or considering, that maybe there is some kind of, consolidation / bottom here to maybe ride this, wave higher. As long as we can stay above the 45, which is this middle green line, then you're on the right track using the geometry. And then, lastly, you take the high and then you square it from the current low. The problem with doing this technique is that you don't even know if this is the low. There could be some capitulation where they crash it and push it even lower, maybe to test this 144, squeeze out the weak bulls. And then you're like, all right, so this square is not gonna work because we went even lower. So that's why I start always from the lowest low, take the high, and then do one from here to the lowest low and see if this holds. But the most important one is the one with the, where is my Gann square? This one, from here to here. And you can see that this is a level to keep an eye on. Next thing I'm going to show you is the seasonality. This is where it's a little conflicting, seasonality versus the dynamic cycles. Okay, so here I have, natural gas cash close that are going all the way back to, let's see, 1994, 93. And you got all this oscillation. So I just want to show you that I'm picking up, not just, 10, 20 years. I'm going way back. And we're going to focus on the future. So this is our high of 1002 that we did in August 23rd. This is where we're at now. We do an annual cycle. And let's open this up a little more so we kind of see So you can see we were expecting price action to go higher and kind of stall somewhere around May to June and then pull back to July, kind of go sideways and then a nice little rally. This hasn't happened. We've just been consolidating. Next thing is the fast annual. This is calculating only 3 years from here. As you can see, using 3 years of data, was projecting, a swing, nice little pop into May, pulling back into like June, and then like really topping out in August. And I've seen seasonalities where the August is pretty strong. June and July are kind of weak, and this kind of reflects that. And then using the mid-annual, this is 12 years of data only. The annual includes all the data, all the way to 1994. This is just 12 years back from here. And it shows a nice little pop. So they were all indicating that we were going to get a nice little rally. But you know what? It hasn't happened. That's part of trading. You got a guideline, a roadmap. Yeah, we possibly could, probabilities are high that we could pop, but you know what? It didn't happen. Or whatever, somebody say, well, they're trying to manipulate it. They don't want Putin to get money and, on the war. So they just keep hammering it down. Yeah, you know what? That's a possibility. I wouldn't rule it out with this world is so crazy and corrupt and, the richer get richer and the greedy get greedier and the poor get poorer. Yeah, I get all that stuff and I won't rule it out. But just know that just using, statistics and patterns and stuff that's happened in the past, not that it's going to repeat exactly, but this is what we were counting on. It hasn't happened. We've just been going sideways. So I just wanted to show you these little nuances of trading. Just because we see this, there could be a 50% chance that it could play out, and there could also be a 50% chance that it won't play out. We also go to the annual decimal, and you can see that this is including the annual and the decimal, and it says a nice little pop into May the 21st, and then it kind of pulls back into August. So this one is going opposite the mid and the fast annual, which is a 3 and 12 year. They're strong here. The annual, which calculates everything, but the decimal pushes it lower. So they're at odds. And then lastly, I like to look at what natural gas did 5 years ago. As you can see, puts a low somewhere around February, rallies into June, pulls back into August, and then does a nice little rally. That's price action from 5 years ago. These are Gann numbers. Let's look at 10 years. Makes a low somewhere around January. Fail new low around, February the 15th. We made one on the 22nd. Popped, pushed down. Looks like, they just didn't want it to rally. You make a high around 420. 420. And then it pulls back into August. And then it just kind of goes sideways and kind of grinds, and then it shoots up. That was 10 years ago. 15, it makes a low in September, and it grinds all the way to like July. July. And then it looks like it crashes. 20, which is more, good number. 10 and 20, as you can see, it rallies from April. It's a peak somewhere around June, and then it pulls back. So those are the things that has happened in the past, but this is where we're at right now. Now, you see what the seasonalities are showing: annual, fast annual, mid-annual, and decimal. You kind of see that it gets toppy somewhere around here. It kind of pulls back into June and July. And then there's two that rally all the way up in August. And this one kind of gets a little weaker. In the annual, the blue line tops out somewhere around June. Kind of goes sideways, pops, pulls back into September. So that's what the seasonality natural cycles are showing. Let's look at another chart and see what it's showing there. Okay, so this is another seasonality chart that I use, and I showed you one. This is another one. So this right here is 5 years. And you can see using 5 years, May is a little weaker. June is way weaker. And then kind of July is a little stronger, and August is the strongest. So it kind of like June makes a low, and it pops up into August. Let's go and stretch this to 10 years. You can see that May is a little weaker, it's below the 50%, and June, July. So it kind of looks like this just kind of goes sideways to lower, and then some happens in August and it gets a nice little pop, and then it kind of pulls back. That's 10 years. Using 15, kind of the same thing as, the 10 year. And August just gets a little stronger above the 50%. So it has a nice little pop. And then the max is 20. You can see that May is kind of flat. Just doesn't, it pulls back, but it's just kind of flat. And then June and July are a little weaker. And August is just a little stronger. But the further you go closer to, where we are current, you can see that August is much stronger. And the 20 year shows like, September, October gets a pop, and then it pulls back down. So that's kind of like, what it's showing. And, we were betting, we did get that pop in April, but we did get that pop also into March, which was a 302. April, we got that high at 252, and around April the 28th, like the last week of April. And then we're kind of just stagnant here. Are we going to get a pop? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to show you another chart on regards to nat gas. Okay, so this is another seasonality chart that I use just to kind of get a gauge on what's going on. As you can see, this is the price. What has happened? That's that February 22 low. That's that nice pop into a March 302. And it kind of fluctuates here in April. You get this nice little rally. I think this is the 252 April, or maybe it was around here, the last week of April, 252. These are open and closes, so it doesn't reflect these, these high wicks or swing highs, pivots. You can see this is where we have now. So we had the 5 year. There's a date here. That was, what is that? That was May 4th. Look at price action, how it inverted that. Interesting, huh? 5 years ago, we just made a swing high and then we pulled back. And this time we made it on April the 28th. So they pulled the carpet way earlier. They didn't even let us rally, and then tanked us. And then it became an inverted. So high, we made a low. And now it pulls back here somewhere around May 8th. And then it goes all the way up 5 years ago, all the way to May 24th. And then it kind of pulls back. Maybe a fail new high here in June 6th. And then it goes down. So is this going to go follow the 5 year? Are they going to pull the carpet earlier? Maybe, in the next couple of days and not let it get to the 25th? It's possible. Very possible. We had the 10-year average. As you can see, this is does kind of the same price action. And then they rally and they kind of get toppy around the last week of May. Kind of consolidates sideways. They try it again. Test that high around the May 24th, and then it pulls back. We had the 15-year average, and you can see that it does kind of the same thing. And they rally. This one doesn't really make a, obvious high, but it just kind of goes, it just grinds higher. And somewhere between June 5th and then June 12th, it just kind of stalls. So what you get out of here is that the average prices have been between the 5, 10, and 15 been fluctuating, and then it gets a nice little rally into May 4th. And what we did was kind of do it on the last week right before, and then hit all the stops, and then maybe looks like it wants to attempt that again. Maybe they do it early and pull the rug ahead of May 24th, or if it's a weekend for Saturday or Sunday, they get closer Friday or Monday, or really head fake everybody. Really push it into June and then pull the rug, which I call the seasonality trap. where it normally stalls here, but they're going to tank it, but they're trapping you and bringing you in, and you're buying, oh yeah, we're in, the low is in, you know, we're going to the moon, the Bitcoin crew, you know, we're going to the moon and all that. And while you're buying it, they're selling it, they're unloading on you, and then they trap it. So those are kind of the scenarios I'm looking at it. The other thing is that we just go sideways. It's like the hell with all you guys, seasonalities and cycles. We ain't doing nothing. We're going to do it when we're going to move. And I'm talking about natural gas itself. It's just going to do what it's going to do. Price action is king. So you got two scenarios. It's going to follow these seasonalities. It could go sideways or it could tank. Those are the three road paths to natural gas. Then the last one, which I'm saving for last, is the best. If you made it this far, then this one, if you're a bull, you're probably going to be excited for this one. Okay, so I saved the best for last. I'm using data here all the way from pretty much 2000, all the way to current prices. You can see price action. These are closes. And I'm looking at the weekly cycle, and there is one important cycle here, which is the 141. This one right here. These are dynamic cycles, so they shift. So don't get too concerned. Oh, well, a couple of videos ago, you said it was going to bottom out here. Well, it didn't, because it's shifting. It's adjusting to price action. Spectrum analysis. If you want to use static cycles, then that's different. Once you like pick a high from here and pick a low from here, that's static. It's going to pick a low in the future or a bottom, and that's not going to move because it's pivoted to these highs, this low, and this high right here. So if you take trading view, take one of those cycles and put it here and put it here, and then there's going to be one coming down into the future, and then it goes up. This is just, you know, as an example. That one is not going to shift. Now, these are dynamic. These are adjusting to price action, oscillations, and all that other stuff. So that's why it's dynamic. So anyway, I digress. June 12th. As of right now, that's the swing low or bottom. Which makes sense. June, July are weak, right? Somewhere around August, it gets a nice little pop. But this cycle goes and peaks somewhere around here, October 21st of 2024. And know that if you're watching this video now, this is going to shift next year, or it's going to be shifting. So it's not going to, you'll look at it next year or when we ever get there, and it's going to be different because there are dynamic cycles. But as of right now, we're entering where the bottom is going to be coming in, and then the price action should be going higher. Take it as it may. That's what the cycles are saying. It's the most important one, the 141. Let's look at the daily, see what the daily are saying there. But so far, long term, this cycle is up into next year of 2024. So if this is going to play out, we're expecting higher highs, higher lows, maybe sideways for a little while and then go up. But it's going to eventually peak somewhere around next year. Okay, so this is the daily cycle. This is the last clip. This is good. Yeah, just wanted to show you. I'm using data from, pretty much of May of 20, you can say 2016 of May, 5 year roughly. And the most important cycle here is the 249, which is this one right here. Oops. And you can see that it kind of picked here. Low came in early, so it kind of fluctuates, almost lining up. Bottom, peak here, kind of lines up here, somewhere around there. And we hit a bottom somewhere around February the 7th, close to the February the 22. And this cycle is up to July the 12th. And then this cycle is going to go down. So that's what the data is showing. And you can see that price action have just been sideways. Can it get some Momo? Something happens and it just, shoots up and maybe lines up with the, we know that June, there's a cycle low that's turning up and it's going to be in sync. It's possible, very possible. But so far, we're just waiting to see what's going to happen. So there it goes. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Cycles, seasonality, what they're showing, what has happened in the past, data and all that. You take it as it may, but at least you have a better educated guess. If you were long from here, from here, whatever, chances are it's not going to always stay down here forever unless the powers that be wanted to stay down there and keep pushing it. But eventually it's going to have to turn around and go up. And we're just kind of forecasting and trying to figure out when that's going to play out. But so far, the good news is you're at the bottom of the barrel, baby. You're bottom feeding like me and all of us. You're loading up, nibbling, getting a little chunk here, contract, some stocks, bull oil or whatever, and betting that we're not going to be here forever and that we're going to eventually go up and then unload. And once we get, all the way to the top, lock in profits and then, let it ride back down again. Like the way life is, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Well, I'm going to sign out. I got to do some work and some projects here. Hopefully you like this video, but I just wanted to give you my honest opinion, what the data is showing. And then from there, you decide what's the best strategy for you. Load up, every time it dips in, pick up a little here, a little there, and eventually, wait till this consolidation pattern, breaks out and ride it. Because there's only three paths: up, sideways, or push even lower to test 144. Those are your three options. So, I'm out.